I want to thank my buddy Pat McAfee for giving us, on this day, some football news. And I will take that as a birthday present from Pat.
Yeah, you should thank him.
Yeah. I just did.
Send him a text. Thanks for the early birthday present.
Thanks for the early birthday present to give us some fresh new NFL news on the last Tuesday of June. That's when Aaron Rodgers appeared on Pat's show for the first time since signing with the Steelers and gave everybody a sense of how he views this season and his career finishing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a 1-year deal. Steelers didn't need to, put any extra years on that or anything. So, this was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. I mean, I played 20 freaking years. It's been a long run, and I've enjoyed it. And what better place to finish than in one of the cornerstone franchises of the NFL with Mike Tomlin and a great group of leadership and great guys in the city that expects you to win.
So put a pin in that. Let's just say the Steelers are 9-1, right, through the first 10 games, and Rodgers looks like an MVP candidate. Will we hear again from him that maybe this isn't it?
Maybe.
I know he's laughing over there because he doesn't think the Steelers are going to go 9-1.
Or Will Howard is starting in Week 11.
I would be stunned, Chris, if he's starting in Week 11 because Rodgers is ineffective. He's starting in Week 11 potentially because Rodgers is hurt. Now it's possible. But I think if Rodgers is out for a week or two, that would be Mason Rudolph country. Will Howard only starts in Pittsburgh this year if an absolute disaster happens, like it did in Rodgers' first year with the Jets. And I'm not going to go down that road about what happened with the Jets. But it does absolutely color the sense of how this is going to work in Pittsburgh. That, all right, who's better, DK Metcalf or Garrett Wilson / Devontae Adams? Who's better, Jalen Warren, the rookie out of the nation's heartland, out of Terzo's state of Iowa, or Breece Hall? Who would you rather have offensively? Last year didn't work out for Rodgers and the Jets. So this year shouldn't work out, except for the fact that you will not have the head coach fired after Week 5. You will not have an offensive coordinator chosen by Rodgers who clearly couldn't figure out how to make it work, didn't get the time to make it work. You won't have a threat of being benched from Art Rooney before firing Mike Tomlin, as we learned. I mean, everything that happened last year, not just Rodgers' fingerprints on it. And, I don't know who, was it Jerry Dulac? Was somebody else saying that this is different for Rodgers? If he's saying he's going there with peace and love and happiness and, the language that causes the four-time Super Bowl champ from their past to tell him to go chew on bark and stuff like that. But him basically saying, I'm going to the cornerstone franchise of the Steelers to finish my career with Mike Tomlin. And, it's different than with the Jets, where he is the center of the universe, the cult of personality, to come in and please change just come and change our culture. Come and, show us how it's done. We just had some rookie here who didn't meet the moment in years 2 and 3, and we're done with him. And we're finished with him. Or come here and teach him the ropes because he doesn't have to play here now. Well, maybe you're here for a year or two and we reset with Zach Wilson. That was don't forget, That's how he arrived, and he set things up the way he wanted it set up with the Jets, from his hand-picked play caller to, even though he swore there wasn't a list of people that he wanted, that he gave to the Jets, there's certainly a lot of his former teammates just started showing up on the roster. Haven't seen that happen yet in Pittsburgh. So if he's going there and saying, I'm part of your system, I'm out of the business of, roster choices, and I'm out of this business, it's a totally different set of circumstances walking into Pittsburgh than what he walked into New York that clearly didn't work out and won't be causing any headwinds to occur in his face. And he's also a year removed from his Achilles. I'm giving you, obviously, a rosier approach than what a lot of others, including, obviously you, Chris, are looking at this as. But just hearing that, if that is, in fact, his mindset, and then he gets on the same page with Arthur Smith, who we send our condolences to, his dad, Fred, passed away this week. We send our best to him and his family. That once the grieving process is over, he's back at the football work with Rodgers. They figure out a way on making Rodgers comfortable and the system doing what Tomlin brought Smith in to do, and Tomlin's kind of sitting there shepherding that process. This could work. Now, what does it look like? Another 10-7 season that we're wondering if Rodgers is the right guy in January, on the road in Kansas City, on the road in Buffalo, on the road in Baltimore. Who the Steelers, as we all know, played 3 times last year. Didn't work out. So, how's that going to look? Must-see TV every single time. We're going to have a front row seat, as we said. That's why the schedule makers put the Steelers at the Jets first off. They saw it coming. Ireland against Minnesota, Green Bay. All that. We're going to have a front row seat to it. An early bye, figure stuff out if they need it. Early reset. I hear that, and it's just like, okay, if that is in fact his approach, I know we just took one soundbite. All with the fact that he knows this is his last rodeo. And he's just going to tee it up, let it fly, get his mind right, go to work. And the Steelers know he's a bridge quarterback. He knows that there's nobody right there. He's not looking over his shoulder going, uh-oh, wait a minute. He's kind of all set up in a way.
Yeah, he's there for a good time, not a long time.
An offensive line that I think is better than the one that was in front of him last year. A running game and a running approach. We had Schlereth on the show, right, earlier, saying this last week that when he chatted with Rodgers in a pre-broadcast conversation prior to him torching the Jaguars late last year, the run game was a mess. The running schemes were a mess. That won't be a problem in Pittsburgh. A lot of things that were problems for him. Achilles injury and coming back from the Achilles injury and ownership coming out of nowhere reportedly to say bench him after 4 weeks, firing the coach after 5, replacing the offensive coordinator he handpicked in the middle of all of it. Run scheme off the charts. Listen, he had some poor Rodgers play on top of it. I'm not saying that he had nothing to do with the disaster that unfolded last year in year 2 for New York, but a lot of the circumstances will not be in Pittsburgh, and the way he's being brought into Pittsburgh is completely different than the way he's brought into New York. The culture's already established there. It's not like, hey, Aaron, show us how to do it. Remember the Hard Knocks? Hard Knocks was basically a commercial for Rodgers' greatness and the love that the fan base had for him. Hey, Rodgers is here. Hey,
yeah.
Right? I know you're skeptical.
It was well edited. Yeah, I'm very skeptical. I
you have every right to be.
I don't think this is going to work.
Jeff Ulbrich was pointing out, remember the defensive coordinator in his film session going, look at this throw from the right hash all the way to the left corner. That's what we're getting right now, the quarterback position. All we got to do is just only give up 2 touchdowns. Here we go. That's not the approach here. It's just welcome to the program. This is the way it's done. Your last year of your Hall of Fame career, first ballot Hall of Fame career, is in our care. And I think he trusts the process. Sounds like it, doesn't it?
And then what?
I know.
And
then you got to play the football. Then you got to play.
No, but I mean, for 2026, then what?
I
Will
know.
Howard doesn't play this year. We're right back where we started with Pittsburgh.
Unless you like another quarterback in the draft. You can go take that kid.
But in your world, their draft pick isn't good enough to get one of these top quarterbacks coming out next year.
Never know. People drop. You can actually trade to move up. I don't know. Or you like Will Howard enough. It's just he's got a redshirt year watching Aaron Rodgers get it done. I don't know. Then you hand things off to him. 2026 is a different year. What were they going to do? Didn't they try for Sam Darnold, right? They try, apparently. I'm sure they knocked on the door for Stafford like everyone else. I don't know.
Yeah.
They certainly weren't going to run it back or hand Justin Fields $20 million a year like the Jets did. And the starter's job. They weren't, for whatever reason, weren't interested in doing that.
They probably should have looked into that.
Well, that's yet another pearl right there in the week one oyster.
Yeah.
Justin Fields' first start as a Jet, as the surefire quarterback of a team for the first time in, 2-3 years, right? Taking on the Steelers, who let him go and walked to the Jets, starting the former Jet quarterback in Aaron Rodgers in his first game as a Steeler. That's why they didn't wait a second to put that on a steak plate for us. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.